Hey guys, now you can follow me on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/UltraMaximusReviews.
What in the hell's all that noise up there?
Oh no, me suffer.
There's something very familiar about all this.
You suck.
Hello YouTube, Ultra Maximus back with another toy review, and well, it's not really a toy review, but a collectible review, and it's the Star Trek official Starships collection, USS Enterprise NCC-1701-C, the Ambassador class starship from Eaglemoss Collections. I was very excited to find this. I found this at my local Think Geek, the Greenwood Park Mall on the south side of Indianapolis, and they had a lot of Eaglemoss ships. I noticed my local comic book store had some too, but they had a lot of the Federation ships over at the Think Geek, and I've never seen the Enterprise C in hand, so I had to pick it up. So let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. So here we have the Enterprise C in the packaging, and this is one of my favorite starships from Star Trek The Next Generation. It was only in one episode, yesterday's Enterprise, and I love the design. It's big, it's bulky, it just looks like an Enterprise, and it's that in between the Next Generation Enterprise D and the old school classic Trek, and I love it. I can't say anything better about it than that. Now, this is just about, if not the same packaging that I had on my Enterprise D that I got a few years back, and really, really digging this. It's got some artwork up in the corner with the other starships. There is the Enterprise C. There it is down there on its stand. It says USS Enterprise C and NCC-1701-C. It's Star Trek collection, and then the top of the package, Star Trek right there. Side of the package has the Enterprise C with a little bio and a collector guide. The other side has got the artwork, and it says Eaglemoss at the bottom. So just kind of a close-up really quick. There it is, Star Trek, and Star Trek upside down. There's the Enterprise C. There's that side here. If you want to pause and read this, you are more than welcome to. And if you want to pause, let's see if we can, oh gosh, there's all kinds of little stuff. Right there. If you want to pause and read that, you are more than welcome to. And then here's the artwork. This is pretty slick here on the side. Very, very nice. Back of the packaging shows other vehicles in the line. And they actually had more vehicles than this. I believe this is all off of Wave 1. It's got what's inside the box there, also available. We got the Enterprise D, which I have. If you've not seen the review on that, I will add a card to that in this video. They did have the original Enterprise in CC-1701, which I'd like to get at some point. They had the Romulan Warbird, they had the Defiant, they had a Bird of Prey. My local comic book store actually has the Enterprise E. They also had the old school Klingon battlecruiser from the original Trek there, and they had the Enterprise NX-01 as well, which I was really torn between the Enterprise C and the NX-01. I went with the C because I've never seen this in store, but yeah, definitely very cool. Let's see here, so what's inside the box? If you want to pause and read that, you're more than welcome to. There's the Enterprise C, and then here are the other ships that are available. Very, very cool. I also have Deep Space Nine out of this series, which was a mail-away with a magazine that actually, I think I got that at, no, I did have to mail it away to get the DS9, which is very, very cool. If you haven't seen the DS9 review, I'll add a card of that as well to this video. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the packaging. Let's go ahead and get the Enterprise out of the box and see what we think. So here we have the Enterprise C out of the packaging, and this is a fantastic little starship. I am really, really digging this. It just looks like it came off of the screen. in the episode Yesterday's Enterprise, and yeah, oh, I'm so glad I picked this up. Now, it does come with a little magazine type of thing that kind of talks about the Starship. It says it's an Ambassador class vessel. It was launched in 2332. It is 520 meters long, and its top speed is warp 8.4, and there's some really interesting things in here. Again, it kind of breaks it down. It had 36 decks, Type 7 phasers, talks about Captain Garrett, and then it kind of talks about the USS Enterprise C, the history of it, the making of the episode Yesterday's Enterprise, which is probably one of the best in Star Trek The Next Generation. And then here's the readout. This is interesting. So this was the original artwork, the original painting of the Enterprise C. And it talks about in here that they came up with the Enterprise C when they built the little ships in the conference room. And basically, the artist, the designer, mixed the Excelsior class and the Galaxy class together and made the profile of the Enterprise C. And that was years before this actual episode. And they ended up fine-tuning it. This was one of the designs, which is very Galaxy class looking. And then this was kind of the final design that's a little bit more, they say it's a little closer to Kirk's than it is to Picard's. The saucer section differential, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so definitely cool. And then it talks about the episode itself, which is pretty darn neat. Definitely dig that. And then kind of shows it on screen. And it's interesting, they say that the graphics for the episode were done before the model was built, and they just used the outline that was on the Enterprise D, and it was slightly different than what actually ended up with the vessel. So that was definitely very interesting and cool to read over. Alright, so the Enterprise C itself, very nice. Much like the Enterprise D, we have a die-cast hull here with kind of a plastic body. A very cool design, so let's kind of get a close-up here. Very nice, I like it. Here's the phaser arrays. Not quite the old-school Enterprise, and not quite the Enterprise D. It says NCC-1701, kind of the old classic style lettering, which I definitely dig. The front of the ship, here's the underneath. I wish there was a way to get some light into this deflector. I think that would be very cool. 1701C underneath. Very, very nice. Definitely dig that. I love the engines. Picks up light really well. I don't know how it's going to look in this light, but yeah, definitely very cool. Apparently, and I was reading it, they talk about this was a deep space exploration vessel, and it had a ton of shuttlecraft, which is definitely kind of interesting. It also talks about Captain Garrett was the only captain of this vessel. She was the first officer of the USS Hood, and then ends up working in the final days of testing for the Enterprise C. And in the 12-odd years that it was in service, she was the only one that served as captain. And they also kind of talk about in the book the other vessels, the Adelphi and the Zurich, I think, and the USS Excalibur. Which is really cool because there was a book series called Star Trek New Frontier, and it focused on the USS Excalibur, which was an Ambassador-class starship. And I loved that book series. Probably because I loved this ship design so much. For comparison, here we have the Enterprise C with the USS Enterprise D and Deep Space Nine. So as you can see, they're not in scale, not at all. This ship should be probably a quarter smaller than the Enterprise D. And, well, the Enterprise D should be like this big to Deep Space Nine. So, unfortunately, they're out of scale, and it's like that all over the Eaglemoss collection line, because, like, the Defiant is as big as this thing is. The Enterprise A and the original Enterprise are definitely a lot smaller than these ships, which, I mean, at that point, I don't know why they just didn't make them all about the same size to get the level of detail, but it is what it is. The Enterprise C looks a little bit bigger to me than the Enterprise D, which is kind of interesting. The nacelles are definitely larger than the Enterprise Ds. Let's see if I can kind of show those off back to back like that. Very interesting. The Enterprise D saucer is wider than this one is. This is definitely circular in comparison to the oval that we have here. And this is definitely more of the color pattern from the classic Star Trek films with Kirk and Spock and all of them. Like, the Enterprise should be more of the gray color that the Enterprise C is here, and Deep Space Nine just looks really washed out to me. I've always thought that that model should be a lot darker than what we got. The sculpt is amazing on it. It just doesn't look dark enough to me for some reason. But yeah, these are definitely very cool to see side by side. Very, very excited to have this into my little collection of 3 here. Definitely going to want to get the rest of, I think, the Federation ships next. I'd like to get probably the NX-01 will be my next purchase on the Starships. I also like the Enterprise E. I think that one looks really good, but it's really small in comparison to these guys. I think the Defiant looks really, really good. The Enterprise A looks really nice, and I believe they made some of the Empire versions, the through the mirror versions of the NX-01 and of the original Enterprise. There's also an Enterprise D2 that has the 3rd nacelle that I'd like to get, but that's a mail-away, much like Deep Space Nine. Or the Borg vessel, I think that's a mail-away one too. But yeah, it definitely makes me want to get more of these. You know, at $25, I think these are fantastic pieces. Definitely worth the money. The detail, the quality is very nice. And if you're a Trekkie, you're going to love this stuff. So is the USS Enterprise NCC-1701-C, the Ambassador class starship from the official Starships collection of Star Trek by Eaglemoss, something you want in your Star Trek collection? I'm going to say yes. This retails for $24.99. Absolutely worth the money. The design is beautiful. The detail, the craftsmanship, I have not had any problems with any of my Eaglemoss collectibles. I think they are gorgeous. If you collect this line, you're going to love this ship. If you are a fan of the Starship Enterprise and want to get all of the incarnations, this is definitely one that you want to get. This is the first time I've seen this one in store and in hand, so I was real excited to pick it up. And it's just one of my favorite designs. It's just like a nice mix between the Excelsior design and the Galaxy class, and it just looks big and beefy and just it screams old school Enterprise, and I love it. So if you see it and you like this kind of thing, this is definitely something to pick up. You will not be disappointed. So there it is, the Enterprise C from Eaglemoss and Star Trek, the official Starships collection.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, thumbs it up. If you hate this video, thumbs it down. To watch more Ultra Maximus, click on the links to the right. Don't forget to subscribe and share, like us on Facebook, and look for more videos in the future.